I experienced a brain aneurysm rupture due to high blood pressure. I was 41, so women over 40, and that led me to spend 20 days in the hospital and had two brain surgeries. And thankfully, I survived. So the first thing our community members work on is identifying a strong why, because that's going to be their anchor and that's going to be what's going to help them push through when the going gets hard. Then we use the rest of our success principles, which are presented in a very accessible way. Conscious eating, which is about making active choices on how you're feeding your body and paying attention on how food and certain portions of food impact how you feel. Then the next one is all movement is good movement. And it's about understanding you don't need to go to a gym and get a personal trainer to incorporate movement into your life. We're big fans of NEA, non-exercise activity. Then we talk about relaxation and the importance of rest in supporting with the other two, because you can eat well and exercise, but if you don't get enough rest, you're undoing everything. And within relaxation, we talk about stress management and a lot of professional development techniques, project management, delegation, setting boundaries can help you relax.
Is there any challenges or failures or any stories that you have?
Entrepreneurship has been.
Welcome to the Art of Kaizen for Entrepreneurs, growing 1% everyday podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Art of Kaizen for Entrepreneurs podcast, where we discuss how to grow 1% every day in both business and in self. Joining me today is Beatrice Fritzler, the owner of Executive Losers. Executive Losers integrates personalized wellness, professional development, and peer networking into one vibrant, empowering community specifically designed to help executive women harmonize health and career success. Here to discuss how she is helping female professionals find improvement in their lives every single day. Thank you for joining me, Beatrice.
Thank you for having me, Kyle. I'm excited.
Yes, and it's something that's, like I said before we started this, it's an area that doesn't have a lot of support. It's a community of women that are striving and fighting against not just the rest of the world, but also against stereotypes and a bunch of other things. And it's difficult. It is very difficult to be, as we would say, a 1% of the world and trying to make that income. So talk to me about how you started this, Beatrice. Where did this idea really come from? Why did you build this company?
Well, I built this company because I am my community member. I am my client. I went through a health crisis in 2018. I experienced a brain aneurysm rupture due to high blood pressure. So when I was 41, so women over 40 of color, and especially women that are struggling with obesity are a very high risk for aneurysms, especially for aneurysm ruptures. So that led me to spend 20 days in the hospital and had two brain surgeries. And thankfully, I survived. It has a 60% mortality rate when you have a brain aneurysm rupture. And I survived cognitively and physically intact. Usually you have some type of deficit, cognitive or physical, if you do survive an aneurysm. So I thankfully came out intact. So as a consequence of that, I decided to love and respect my body for taking me through that journey. And that's when my wellness journey started. I started by exercising regularly, and eventually I had to come to accept that I needed to lose weight. I was trying not to do the weight loss thing, but I came to accept that I needed to lose weight because I was already in a pre-diabetic state. So I went through that. I came to the other side as stronger and healthier than I have been in my entire adult life. I'm healthier today in my 40s than I was in my 20s. And I attracted a community of other executives that wanted to to have what I was having. So Executive Losers started as an organic group of peer executives that were trying to tackle the challenge of wellness and improve their health. So that's how the community was born.
How beautiful. And thankfully, I mean, you made it through all the very difficult process, but to give back afterwards is so powerful. All of us as humans, we go through, especially entrepreneurs, right? We go through difficulties every single day, not just within our business, but within our lives. And for you to go through just a drastic, such a monumental thing like that, and for you to make it out the way you have, and then say, I'm not just happy to have my life, but I want to give life back to those people that are dealing with the same problems, is just beautiful. honestly beautiful. So the creation of the business, obviously you created this organic group, it comes together and you guys are all talking about how to support each other and how to help each other. How do you translate that from just a community into a full-flown business?
Well, so it started as the organic community, but then I saw the results that the members were having just by coming together. And at that point, we didn't have any real structure. We were just committing to the group and saying we're going to take better care of ourselves and troubleshooting with the members of the group. The members were losing weight, improving her health markers. There was one of the members that was supposed to have knee surgery, and she was able to not do that because she was part of the group and lost weight and removed the pressure. People learn how to set boundaries. So I said, there's something here. And that's when the idea of developing a business came up. Communities in general, digital communities have become very popular. So that was part of what fed that. I also decided to elevate my credentials to support the work. So I became a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach from the International Sports Science Association, I think it's called, ISA. And I also became a wellness coach through Harvard Medical School. And I have been able to create a framework and a structure of support to be more science based, more evidence based in the work that we're doing with the women.
Wow, and really dove in. I mean, that's incredible to not only find that you're finding success, but then say, I want more and going after, as we say, the Kaizen ideology of that 1% improvement every single day, but going above and beyond, making sure you had degrees so that there's a professional standby for the words that you're saying. There's the support to the words that you're giving out. Talk to me a little bit about when you got into the position of creating the group, how you wanted to be unique. How, when you created the business and now you knew that you were giving this service out, as you said, the online coaching and the online service of everybody really blew up post COVID. How did you make your business a little bit different? How did you make it stand out?
Well, we got a catchy name like Executive Losers, which I mentioned to you is going to be changing. We also focus on a very specific population. We started with executive women, senior executive women, 40 to 65. And we took into consideration the realities of their everyday life. Not only do they have the demands of their work, many of them are the sandwich generation. They're taking care of teenage, younger children, and aging parents, and are dealing also with perimenopause and menopause. So we made it very niche and very specific to the needs and challenges of that population. And we are having the wellness conversation as a lifelong conversation. Many programs, especially when they focus on weight loss, they're very much about losing the weight, and they don't focus on the habits that you need to create to sustain wellness for the rest of your life. So sustainability and taking into account professional development also as a wellness tool. Strategic delegation is our best friend. Is what is makes it the most attractive for the population we're targeting, because we're thinking about them holistically and taking into account their challenges and limitations as well, especially.
Oof. Well, there's an old analogy that says if you took all the wealth in the world and spread it across the world to everybody and it was all evenly spread, you give it about 1 to 2 years, all the money would end up back into the original wealthy individuals. And that's because they have the habits and they have the concepts needed to be successful. And Beatrice, that's what you're developing in your business. It's so powerful to hear because, again, it's a group that really does deserve a high level of support. Let's talk about that group a little bit. You said executives, but who exactly are you working with today? And if you can give us, some general examples so that people can resonate with it, as well as how do you plan on expanding that as the company grows?
Well, so originally, the group was executive women. I am a municipal government executive, and I had a lot of women that at executive level from the social impact space, nonprofit, and some from the corporate sector. But now that that's expanding from executive women to what we're calling high achieving women, because we're having women that have high level positions at work, but not necessarily have the title executive. We have women in construction, women in the restaurant industry. We also have women that are entrepreneurs. So we wanted to make it more expansive and cover high achieving women, still of the same age group, because those physical and perimenopause and menopause challenges are real and very unique to this population. And we wanted to focus on that because there's also a lot of limiting beliefs and real challenges in that age group. Some women give up trying because they say, oh, I'm in perimenopause, I'm in menopause, I'm not going to lose weight. And that's not true. You will be able to lose weight. It may be a little more challenging, but there is a way.
I love that you bring in the agreements, right? One of my favorite books of all time is The Four Agreements. It talks about how we make these agreements with ourselves throughout our lives and how we define ourselves by those agreements. Can you talk about a little bit of how you're breaking those agreements, the process that you're going into, and getting a little bit more granular of how you're going about the action of getting people from their mindset to where they are today to getting into those healthy habits and putting them in the right position to move forward?
Well, we use what we call our success principles. You mentioned the importance of the why. So the first thing our community members work on is identifying a strong why, because that's going to be their anchor and that's going to be what's going to help them push through when the going gets hard. Then we use the rest of our success principles, which are presented in a very accessible way. Conscious eating, which is about making active choices on how you're feeding your body and paying attention on how food and certain portions of food impact how you feel. Then the next one is all movement is good movement. And it's about understanding you don't need to go to a gym and get a personal trainer to incorporate movement into your life. We're big fans of NEA, non-exercise activity. I tell them, when I'm in the office, I work on a very large floor. So I go to the bathroom the longest way and I get 500 steps just going to the bathroom. And if I do that, if I hydrate enough, that's going to be a lot of steps at the end of the day. Then we talk about relaxation and the importance of rest in supporting with the other two, because you can eat well and exercise, but if you don't get enough rest, you're undoing everything. And within relaxation, we talk about stress management and a lot of professional development techniques, project management, delegation, setting boundaries can help you relax. So it's stuff that is going to help you in your work and in wellness and your professional career don't have to be separate. And that's celebrating non-scale victories. So non-scale victories are, getting smaller in size, improving a health marker, developing a habit. I have one of our members that has gone from having a very difficult time getting up in the morning. She's today called herself a morning person. So I'm like, oh, you're becoming one of those people. I became one of those people a few years ago. And again, emphasizing sustainability and also releasing perfectionism. So the name Executive Losers was also playing on that, on the need to release perfectionism, because this population is highly perfectionistic, and then they want to get everything perfect. And the wellness journey is everything but perfect. So today, for example, we had a call and we were talking about creating fail inclusive strategies. Not fail proof, but fail inclusive.
Well, are you sure you only want to do this for women? Because this sounds amazing, right? It sounds great.
I mean, it applies to everyone. But right now I'm going with what I know. Like I told you, I am 49 years old, gonna turn 50 next year. So I am my client. I'm postmenopausal. I'm still have my day job. So this is the project that I'm doing simultaneously. So I still have all the pressures that my community, my clients have.
Just so powerful. If you guys have a chance to rewind, listen to what the process and breakdown that she just went through. The finding your why, the understanding that you will have failure, the understanding that you can do and have healthy habits without putting this concept inside a box that you need to go to a gym or need to do X, Y, and Z. But it's really just adjusting the mindset and adjusting the agreements that you have with yourself to be healthier, that will lead you to being happier. And really, sleep thing's huge, absolutely huge. I deprived myself of that for about 2 years, and I was like, why am I not losing weight? Like I am working out every day, I'm running, and I'm staying at the same exact weight. And my wife's like, you sleep for 4 hours a day. It's probably your problem, right? Sleep changed everything. So beautiful. You mentioned before that you have some changes that are going to happen in the business, new branding, new positioning. Let's talk about what the next year looks like for Executive Losers. How is the business going forward, and what's your plans for adjustments, for growth, and really where you take the company going from here?
So one of the changes that we're going through is changing the brand name. We're going from Executive Losers to Be Healthier. And it's actually a play on my name, BEA. We launched a summer challenge and we do have time a specific programming. So it's not like we don't have time a specific programming, but we make sure that in all our messaging, we tell people, you're doing this now, but it's to sustain it for the rest of your life. So we did this. We're actually in the middle of our summer challenge, the Be Healthier Summer Challenge, and the population has embraced the name, and it is a reflection that something that has um, been very interesting is that not a lot of the women want to lose weight. So that has been something to reflect upon. We were very more focused on weight loss at the beginning. And so a lot of women want to just develop healthy habits and get stronger. We have a woman that is recently retired that wants to be the strongest grandma in the world. She wants to be the best nana. She has 6 grandkids and she just wants to be able to keep up with them. And that's her why. So we are moving from the original brand Executive Losers, releasing what holds you back, to Be Healthier, which is what moves us forward. We're moving towards that. The healthier as an active verb is about, it reflects that this is an ongoing journey, that this is a lifelong journey. So we are changing the brand. We're refining our offerings. We're thinking that this challenge that we did in the summer, we're going to do it more regularly. And that's going to be, I guess, our mid funnel strategy, because the challenge is for most participants is free. And then we have a more robust program called the Wellness Accelerator that provides more intensive coaching, guidance, and support. That's our premier product. So we're still refining our offerings, still building our platform. We're trying to create more courses that can be available asynchronous and find different ways to have the members interact. Because I didn't highlight that very strongly when I was talking about the success principles. But what really the secret sauce is the community. Having the women relating to one another, being vulnerable in a judgment free environment, it's everything, especially because these women have to project the strength at work and don't have a lot of opportunities for vulnerability. So this is a space that they can talk about hot flashes and anything else that's impacting them.
Yeah, community, so powerful, so power. I mean, across the board, it really you're setting the stage for what I considered the as you get into the higher community. All entrepreneurs listening to this understands this. As you get into a higher income, a higher community, a higher executive position, you feel your friends and the people you grew up with, you just start separating from them, and you gain distance. And next thing you know, you're achieving everything that you wanted to achieve, and you're working an extensive amount of hours, and you're working out, and you're staying healthy, and you're dealing with your family. But there's no direct friend outlet once you get to the very top. Not many people want to climb Everest with you, right? So having something that not only gives them the guidance that they need and the support that they need where they stand, right? This is specifically for executive women, but also get them around other individuals in the same process only boosts the understanding that you're not alone, and that gives you the confidence you need to really move forward. And I think all us entrepreneurs need to know that if it's a program like Beatrice is here, or if it's any other program, it's a necessity. You really need people to bounce these ideas and concepts and support positive and negative off you. And as you said, Beatrice, in a judgment-free zone. I love this. I think this is an awesome program. I would love to see the success of all of your entrepreneurs skyrocket. I'd like to shift away from the program a little bit and ask just one or two questions about you personally, and that will how we'll close out the podcast. In this process of building a company while working full time, is there any challenges or failures? Because there's a lot of people in your position right now. Are any stories that you have that you could share with our listeners here, so they can understand that they're not fighting this fight alone, that there's other people that have gone through difficulties? And I'd love to hear anything that really has been eye-opening to you to say, yes, this is the path that I want to go as an entrepreneur. This is my why.
Entrepreneurship has been hard. I have a very entrepreneurial mindset, but I have always been an employee. And as I mentioned, I worked in the social impact space. So I'm very service driven, not even income driven work, no profit driven work. So shifting the mindset, going from that to building a business, creating a profitable business has been challenging. It's still not fully profitable yet. So we only been around for a year and a half, and understanding also a lot of my baggage when it comes to entrepreneurship has been around money, understanding investing in marketing. It has been a big mindset shift for me, understanding the high and lows. you know by the way, wellness is very seasonal. I'm having a lot of success right now in the summer. Believe it or not, people feel energized and they want to do this, but there's other points in the year that people don't like. End of the year, for example, people don't want to do this. So understanding that
You tell me people don't want to
with
work out.
personality.
Yeah, but people don't want to work out with their Christmas cookies and their big
Exactly.
dinners, right?
Understanding the seasonality of it, understanding the ups and downs, understanding that also when it talks about bodies and middle-aged women bodies, people are very sensitive about those things. So it has taken a while also to build trust. So I'm seeing the results now of a year and a half of work. Um, that now we're finally earning that trust. There's been a lot of lessons, and I have to remain open, and I have to get out. Gotten out of my comfort zone a lot, and I continue to do it. For example, when it comes to marketing, I have a marketing coach, and he said, you need to do more video content and put your story out more. And I felt like I was doing that enough. I wrote a book about my wellness journey. I felt like I was putting myself out enough. And he said, no, you have to do it more. You have to be more vulnerable. And as I have listened to that, I seen the results. It makes me feel sometimes a little narcissistic to be creating so many videos about myself. But people care about the personality behind the brand and the person behind the brand. And being vulnerable and showing that I'm one of them with the same struggles. I gained some weight back, and I'm doing the challenge with the group myself has been very useful. So being open to feedback and trying things out.
A bunch of golden nuggets there, right? Be ready. One, the story of an entrepreneur, the journey of an entrepreneur is slaying a massive dragon. It is a difficult process, right? It is not easy in any way, shape, or form. The seasonality factor, every business gets it, no matter what kind of business. If you're e-commerce, or I know businesses that try to strive their entire year and only find success in Q4, and that's what keeps them alive. Think about the stress that comes into that process. And then finally, the perseverance, the ability to, like, you have to continue to push forward. And the one thing I love that you said at the end was just bringing the founder story and the founder's journey within the business, which has been huge over the last about 12 months. Like, you look at companies like Brez, who went to seven figures within a year just because the founder was really front facing of how the business was functioning. There's multiple different business stories of the same concept. And to hear that you're not only embodying the business, but also running the challenge with your community is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love that. Last question for you. How do you find your Kaizen? How do you find that ability to improve a little bit every single day? Is it reading books, podcasts? Maybe it's the habits that you put into place. But what are you doing, Beatrice, to ensure that you're constantly taking small steps towards your larger?
A little bit of everything. I am a big podcast listener. I do love. I need to read more fiction, but I read a lot of nonfiction and professional and personal development books. The routines that I have created for myself definitely help. I woke up today not feeling. I was kind of feeling a little melancholic and sad for some reason this morning, and I went and did a workout in the bodyweight workout with my husband in the park, and I was ready for the day right after. So, having those rituals and finding ways to nourish myself, and then also community. Interacting with other women and listening to the stories of these women elevates me and motivates me to do more.
Absolutely love that. Beatrice Fritzler from the Executive Losers, that's soon going to be healthier. I love that. Can you tell us how people can find you if someone is, especially if it's an executive woman listening to this right now, who's looking for that support, who's looking for that community, how they get connected with you?
Well, our Executive Losers website is still going to be up for a while. So executivelosers.com. We also have pages in LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, also Executive Losers. And my personal social media is my name, Beatrice underscore health journey. And yeah, those are the ways that you can find me. Yeah, and find Executive Losers. And like I said, soon to be healthier.
I love that. All that information is going to be found below in the description. If you guys have finished this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Kaizen podcast.